73 and 3/8, I believe. Yep, 73 and 3/8. Cut those out of 2x6s, so let me get 4 of those cut and I'll be right back. Alright, we'll go ahead and put the floor joists in. When you're putting floor joists in, you want to, and I already looked at all the crown on these, but you want to look at the crown, which is which way the board bows, and you want to put the crown up. Just helps with the strength of the system. Alright, so we got the floor joists in, ready for decking on this, but I'm going to go ahead and build my stairs next, at least the stair stringers, so we'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I know that I'm going to have 3 treads, which is 33 inches with also 3 rises. Well, 4 counting the one up here. So I want to come out 33 inches from my deck. About. My level's level. So I want to measure this right here, my distance. We are 26 and 3/8. So we'll take that number and I'll show you how we figure out your stairs here in a second. 26 and 3/8. Okay, I got a construction calculator here. Don't really have to have one, but first thing you want to do is draw a picture of basically what you're doing. It doesn't have to be exact, so I'll kind of draw it so you guys can see it here. So we're gonna have 1 rise, 2 rises, 3 rises, 4th rise, and this is the deck right there. Okay, from the top of the deck right here, so let's continue that line out there to the concrete. We are 26 and 3/8. My hand's in the way. So we're 26 and 3/8 right there. So there's 4 risers, so what you want to do is divide 26 and 3/8. And the way I came up with 4 risers, actually, if we want to start from the beginning, so you want your rises to be 7 inches or less. So if you go 26 and 3/8 and divide that by 7, you'll get 3 and 49/64. So round up always to 4. So that'll give you 4 risers. So we'll do 26 and 3/8 divided by 4 is 6 and 19/30 seconds. So each one of these is going to be 6 and 19/30 seconds. So 10/16, so that's 5/8. So 6 and 5/8 on each one. Now, that is at the wall where we measured from the level down. The concrete slopes away from the building. So we want all of these to be level, and they need to all be the same, but the bottom one will not be able to be the same because the concrete slopes. So we'll actually be making an adjustment to the very bottom rise right there to compensate for the slope in the concrete. Other than that, they'll all be level. So we'll go ahead and set up our square here. Grab that and some stair gauges. So take your framing square, and we know that we want our tread to be 11 inches. Now I'm going to put a 1/4 inch gap between my 2x6s. Two 2x6s is 11 inches with a 1/4 inch gap. That's going to give it 11 1/4. So my 2x6s will hang over my tread by a 1/4 inch. So you take your button here. It's what we call these buttons or stair gauges. 6 and 5/8. Which I like to set the one over here first at 6 and 5/8. I'll show you this in just a second. So we've got that one set at 6 and 5/8 right there. And it actually helps if you have a straighter edge. Actually, we can get the level and do this. Because the board is rounded on the edge where they plane them off, it's a lot more accurate to do it this way. So we're at 6 and 5/8 right there. If you can see that. Then on this side, we want the 11 to be lined up right with the edge of the level. And sometimes the button may not be all the way on the level. Like if you're doing real shallow steps or something, you might be like this, and you might have to be clear out there because your button is away from the edge of the level. The edge of the button is. But on this, let's see, there's 11 right there. We're about a 16th off. Okay. Alright, we'll zoom back out here a little bit. You want to pick a good edge on your board that you can actually get the buttons to ride on really nicely. And I know, Casterman, you don't like mechanical pencils, but that's what I run when I'm doing this kind of stuff. Okay, so this is tread number 1. What I do is I'll line my mark 11 inches up with this mark here, so I know I'm going 11 inches. This one's tread 2. And I gotta take off here in a second. So there is tread 3. And I'll make this mark here. And I'll be back with with y'all in a minute. Got some stuff I gotta take care of. And we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, what I need to do here is this end mark on here. So what I've done is I've come over here on my 11 inch and lined it up with this mark. And I'm getting it square with the line. Now obviously this is way more than 6 3/8 right here. So we'll go down to 6 3/8, which is right there. So I got 6 3/8 here, 6 3/8 there. Now this mark, I'm not going to cut this yet, and I'll show you why here in a second. Actually, I can do it right now. So because we're putting 2x6s on this tread right here, if I left this at 6 3/8, that would make that 7 3/8 from here to the top of those 2x6s. So I need to cut 1.5 inches off of this to make each one of these would drop down 1.5 inches, but I'm adding 1.5 inches on the tread, so we'll just go ahead and make that mark. Okay, so that's where we'll cut that. And again, because the concrete slopes, this is where we'll make our adjustment on height with the slope of the concrete. Now we'll come out to this end and we continue this line down . Now, if you were building stairs, say inside a house, and you were going to put, say, a 3/4 inch board on the face of them, so they weren't open face stairs, you would take whatever that distance is there off of this back cut, and that will keep your distance the same once you put that board on. But we're not doing that, so now we'll go ahead and cut this out. Alright, got my jigsaw here. Only got these little tiny blades in it because nowhere around here carries what I need. there is stair tread or stringer. Still got a few things to do to it, but we'll run it over and put it on the deck and figure out what we got to do on these other three. Okay, so what we got going on, I got that one dialed in where it needed to be. Of course, this one was my first one that I did. And then I just put my level across here and measure it up, you know, every 16 inches, wherever it's going to be, measured up to the bottom of the level, and that's what I make my final tread at. This one, right here. I'm about 5 9/16. So I'll show you how we cut that and make that one. Okay, so I got my square here, and so our first tread, or the first riser, is going to be 5 9/16. So I'll take another square here and line it up with my 11-inch mark. And go ahead and make a mark for that riser. And we'll come down to 5 9/16. Make a mark there. So that's that measurement from the concrete up to that level. So that's how you do that when you've got an uneven surface where your steps are landing. Go ahead and mark this out the rest of the way. And this is rough cut off my mill. I ran out of 2x12s and I messed one stringer up, and then I wound up deciding I was going to go 16-inch centers instead of 2-foot centers on the stringers. So then I just come over here and line up 5 9/16 with the top of my stair tread mark, and then I put this leg of the square on it here. And on that mark. There you go. There's the stringers laid out. We'll go ahead and get this cut out and be right back. So how I'm attaching these, and there's several ways you can do it. In the past, I've cut a notch out back here 1.5 inches by, you know, maybe 3 inches, but I've done that when I've put my tread level with the top of the deck, and then you got a ledger right here that the treads sit on. I have cut 1.5 inches the full width off the back and screwed a 2x8 or 2x6 or whatever to the back side of them. Set them all up as one. This one I'm just putting blocks in between. They're already screwed in on the back side. I better get a hammer. So I've got screws from the back side of this rim board into the back of the tread. We'll go ahead and put a screw in there. put a couple in. Then I'll screw this into that block. And that will keep them all attached and straight. So that's how I'm doing it on this one. So we'll be back with a little more after this. Alright, well, we got all the boards on the steps. Pretty simple process. These are deck spacers that I use. This is a 3/8 space. I believe this side's 1/4 inch. But we'll go in with 3/8 on this one. Just drop it in there like that. Basically what I'm going to do is just screw them all down on each end, and then I'll get up and screw the field in here in a minute. Alright, as you can see there, what I did, I screwed this board down where I wanted it, flush on that end. I'm hanging over this end about 1/4 inch. And then I got some quick grip clamps holding this level in here. This end I just took a scrap piece of board down here on the steps. It's about the same width as my level. Set it down there, and then I just ran one screw in through this one into the rim board and sucked that level up against this board, which is screwed where I want. That way I can pull all the boards up against my level, and this edge will be perfectly straight once I get them all down. So we'll go ahead and screw some of these on. I'll show you how I'm doing it, and go from there. Well, you get the point. Sounds like somebody's running equipment over there, probably a vac truck or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut her off, and I'll finish this up, and we'll get on to the next step. Possible. All right, we'll see you after a bit. All right. Well, as you can see, we've got her pretty well wrapped up, other than the railing. I'm not going to get to that today. I got to go to work this afternoon. But, here in about, holy crap, later than I thought. About 2.5 hours I got to head to work. And it's getting close to raining. It's getting kind of ugly out. So I'm not sure when I'll get back on this, but when I get to it and start the railing and the roof system and stuff, I'll bring you back. But anyway, just want to say thanks to all the subscribers. You guys are awesome. Everybody that's in the comments, you know, Michael 58 and Derek LaFald and Michael White Old Timer, Michael Hall, Simple Man, love you brother, Tasman, you're awesome. Everybody else, just really appreciate it. Mandy Hops. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of this screwed off. Got a bunch of screws put in, and we'll see you on the next one. 07 out.